On today's show, we have an incredible setup for you. I'm really excited for it. We are doing part 2 of Disney Fight Night. It starts over on the Wolf of Main Street podcast, where Ethan and Brian came together. They made their fight card, and we're going to decide who wins those matches right here today. We have a very special guest judge joining us. Really excited to bring him in here in just a minute. We'll see you on the other side. What's up, and welcome to Mouse Ears of Magic, episode number 80. I'm James.
I'm Mark.
I have here on the screen Marc Valentine from this DisLife podcast. I threw you off there a little bit.
You surprised me a little bit by bringing just the two of us up to start the show.
I was gonna bring in Brian, but then I was like, no, I need to announce him as one of the contestants. So I was like, Mark's been here. I'll just have him up here. He can.
I like that. I like the WWE style of bringing in the fighters. I like that.
I mean, we've got to, right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you real quick. What do you think? Bring in the fighters and then our special guest judge?
I think that would be. I mean, because our guest judge is he's the real knockout here.
Like, yeah, he's the reason why people are here. So.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's start it off. Our first contestant, our very own Brian Ferguson. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. What's up, everybody?
I feel like we should have had some epic music to accompany that. Like your music would have been Real American from Hulk Hogan. You're definitely like that's your theme music.
There
it is.
That would be great. Brian, there's no pressure, but I've said this multiple times.
If you lose, you're done.
Yeah, we're 0 for 2, dude. We've all
fine.
Underdomes.
I'm okay. That's fine.
I've got to have you. This is all you right now, man.
Look, man, you lost the first one.
Look.
Yeah, both of us did. You're looking at two.
Don't put all that on me, homie.
Yeah.
You were counting the votes, so I'm putting all of it on you.
I'm not cheating for you, big boy.
All right. So our next contestant had a rough showing in his first fight card.
It was brutal.
It was brutal, but he has come to play today. We bring in the Wolf himself, Ethan from the Wolf of Main Street podcast. What's up, bud?
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm seeking redemption, but I have a noble opponent on the other side, and I'm excited to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk right here. This is it.
Yes.
The mega powers collide.
I see the Ultimate Warrior in him. I do. That was a good call. All right, so Ethan, you got anything like we said, last match, that was brutal.
It was brutal. I went into the lineup with Brian this time around knowing that I had to bring my absolute A game, and I still think on the other side's a noble opponent on each side. So there's also some just really good matchups in here that I'm excited to hear everyone's thoughts about. So I think I brought my A game, but I'm just A, excited to be here, and B, I think it'll be fun to see what the audience thinks. I think it'll be cool to see what our guest judge and the rest of the judges think. But this will be fun. Here we go.
And the Rawson family is off to an incredible start.
Oh,
Jennifer Rawson has her name. She is not Facebook user tonight.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I have a 4-year-old busting in here. All right. So let's bring him in. It's our special guest judge. I know we're all excited to have him. He is the host of Disney Park Live. You've seen him on Inside Disney Park on ABC. You've seen him hosting Comic-Con. He's Telly Award winning. You can catch him doing stand-up comedy. What does this man not do? Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to the one and only Marc Valentine.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited about this lineup.
Yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We are so happy that you are able to join us. I know you're going to help bring the heat on some of these. So do you have any thoughts going into this? You just met the two contestants. You've heard the first episode where Wolf completely bombed You know,
For lack of better
do you
terms,
have?
but sure.
you have any expectations rolling into this?
Yeah, I'm very excited because I learned about it after it happened. And I remember I told you about it and Figgy was telling me about it. And I said, man, that is awesome. I would love to be a part of that. And so now I'm here and I'm excited, man, because I started, when I learned about this, I started thinking of all the characters and unique things about all the Disney characters I have in my head. So I'm just curious and I can't wait to see the fight card and see the lineup. And Ethan the Wolf, he looks ready, man. But you know what's cool? I don't know if Brian has a nickname, but I want to call him Brian the Bear. Because he's just kind of chilling. You know how you might see a bear in the woods and they just like, oh, it's just a bear. But you know it's dangerous. You don't want to get too close to it. But from far away, it looks like it's asleep. That's how Brian is right now. I think Brian, he's prepped. I think he's ready. And I think he's kind of being that bear role, like off in the distance, just eating berries. But bears also eat meat.
Ooh.
Oh.
Here we go. All right, so let's check in with our comments. Marc Valentine, I got to throw you up there. You were first. Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast, they came in second. Is anybody else getting an echo, or is that just me?
Just a tiny one. Yeah, off of you a little bit.
It's off of me?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
It's double James, but sometimes that's okay too.
No, that's never okay. That is never okay. This is the joys of doing it live. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. And I got to say this too while I'm looking through the comments. Mark, I remember when you first went live doing your inspiration videos and you forgot to click the live twice, right?
Yeah.
I totally forgot to do that today. I clicked it once and I was like, why is it not starting? Oh boy, here we go. Amy and Dana, the greatest American hero theme song for him. LD is here. We've already talked about Miss Rawson. Sebastian's good job. Now everybody's talking back and forth. We've got Brad from the 8-Bit Vacations YouTube channel. Mom is here. Dwayne is here. Dwayne's going to be joining us later on the Disney Bunch. We're really excited for that one. So, gentlemen, are y'all ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's move right into the first match. Brian, you've got some explaining to do, my man. We have the Wolf has chosen Captain America. Brian Ferguson chose the one and only Stan Lee. Mark, you good over there? Marc Valentine? I thought you was getting some kind of word or something over there.
No, we've got a lot of traffic.
Oh, okay. So actually, I did just get a message. Brian, are you wanting to do a write-in? Because we just got word from Stan Lee's team that he's dead.
Yes, Stan Lee's no longer with us.
He wasn't able to make the match tonight. Did you want to do a write-in there?
Can we?
Go ahead. I don't see a problem with it. Wolf, do you see a problem?
I guess I'll allow it. It is pretty overpowered.
It wasn't the best pick. I'll be honest. All right.
Yeah, you guys called me. I didn't really think that one through.
No, not at all. All right. So, Brian, we'll let you go ahead and go first. I know Ethan chose first in this one, but we're going to go ahead, Brian, since you are changing it up. That way we know what's going on. Who do you have?
I got Wolverine.
You're going Wolverine. All right. So Wolverine versus Captain America. You want to talk about why?
Well, Wolverine is he's a good adversary or a good matchup with Captain America. The reason being is they're probably close to about the same age. They both are very skilled fighters. They're both very strong, very agile. They're leaders also in the comics, both of them. Okay. So that's the reason why I picked him. I thought that would be a good matchup.
All right. So Ethan, how's Captain America going to take Wolverine?
I mean, listen, Captain America is a tactical genius. He is a superhuman. He is one of the best head-to-head combat fighters within the Marvel. Any question or any doubt. If this fight goes into any type of late round situation, Captain America can do this all day. So that's how I feel about that.
All right. Mark Daniel, we'll start right with you. What are you thinking about this matchup?
I think it's a good matchup. Kind of to what Brian said. I'm looking at Wolverine through the movies and not comics. So I'm gonna go through my experience in the movies. And I feel like Wolverine really he's a loner. I feel he's got a lot of pain, and I feel Captain America on the other hand is more like a team player. I think it's a very matchup because what his Captain America's shield. So I think they'll go toe to toe for a while. So like I said, I think it'll go into some extra rounds. But I think at the end of the day, Wolverine has had more pain, and I think Wolverine. I don't think he could kill Captain America, but I think he could be the one walking away from the fight stronger. So I'm going to go with Wolverine.
Okay. All right.
Did I do it right? That's just my that's okay. Good. Okay.
I like it.
So I think that's it. I think it'll be a good fight. I think at the end of the day, I think Wolverine could take the hits from the shield over and over and over and over again, and I think he'll heal a lot faster than Captain America. So I think he'll walk away from the fight faster.
Fantastic. Marc Valentine, what you got?
So Captain America has my heart. I love Cap. He's on my Mount Rushmore of heroes. I love everything that you did for. I love the shield. Love the fact that he's now Mjolnir. But the fact remains that those adamantium claws are going to do damage on Cap. And they're going to do a lot of damage. He can regenerate. He can heal. The only thing that is going to really destroy Wolverine in that fight is going to be an adamantium bullet that's going to get past that adamantium skull of his. And he's got too much staying power. Ethan, you said, Cap can do that all day. The thing is Wolverine can do that all day too. And the man just heals way too quick for Cap to be able to deal with that. So if it was a one-on-one fight with just what they have in their arsenal, I think Wolverine he's gonna get a hit in. He's just way too fast. But the healing abilities and that adamantium is gonna be the game changer. That's what's gonna deliver the win for Wolverine.
Hello? I can't hear anybody or anything.
That's because I had myself muted. So there we go. All right. So do you have anything to add? Is there anything that you can do to sway anybody towards?
So listen, I had to do a little bit of research on Wolverine because I'm not as well seen. But in the few videos that I watched of Wolverine, they were with Hugh Jackman. So say what you want about that. But he got knocked out at one point by a cop. I don't know. That seems to me like somebody who can't stand up and fight against someone like Captain America. But it just seems as though in the other fights that he's had, it hasn't exactly gone very well for Wolverine. And Cap was willing to go up against an army of people that were coming to ruin the entire universe. And that to me just speaks volumes. I don't know. I don't know enough about Wolverine to really defend my pick against Wolverine. But this is Captain America, buddy. I just can't foresee him losing. So that's just me.
Okay. All right. I think Marks. Do y'all have? did he sway y'all anyway? Was it possible?
Again, like I said, I mean, I'm really with Ethan on Captain America doing it all day, but I think Captain America is very much a team player. I think if it was a team put together against the X-Men, I would be in Captain America's camp because I think he, like he said, he's very tactical and he knows how to encourage and motivate a team. But I think one-on-one, I think Wolverine is just a loner. I think he's gritty and I think he's got a lot of pain. So again, I'm still sticking with Wolverine.
Marc Valentine, you staying with it?
So Ethan brings up a good point. You know, at the end of Endgame, he's standing against that army. The man's heart is unquestioned. His spirit is unquestioned. But Ethan, here's something you should also consider with that moment. If everyone didn't pour out of those portals, he was going to die. He was going to lose. He would not have beaten Thanos. He went toe-to-toe with Thanos, but he was going to lose. You know, look at Wolverine. I know it's not the same universe. Wolverine took down 2 iterations of the Phoenix, man, of the Dark Phoenix. So I have to go with Wolverine. He's going to win. In a one-on-one fight, he's going to win.
There we go.
James is muted.
I'm not used to this. So Piano Rob's here. So he says, hello, you handsome, beautiful men. And he says Wolverine would take Cap. I don't want it that way, but it's true.
I feel the same way.
Esther, I don't think anybody in here is going to argue with this statement. Chris Evans, Steve Rogers is the better Captain America. To me, he's the only Captain America. Sebastian, I can't ever imagine Captain America winning this. So, Brian,
let me reiterate that they are very evenly matched. If it wasn't for the adamantium, I can even say it, Mark. Adamantium infused skeletal system and the claws. Yeah, I don't think Cap wins in it. So.
Yeah. So there we go.
All right. Yeah. I think that's what's good about it. I mean, it's good because it's a matchup that we know who will win, but we're not happy about it.
I agree.
All right. So we can go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's a good one. I don't hate this matchup. Palpatine versus Anakin. Now, Brian went first on this one. He chose Palpatine. Wolf, that put you in a hard spot, man.
Certainly did.
So we will go ahead. We will let you take over right now. Go ahead and give your points, why you chose Anakin, and how he's going to take on Palpatine.
I mean, listen, it's a tough matchup. I mean, he picked quite possibly one of the toughest, bad guys in Star Wars, which was really the hope of it all. But I guess what I should do is Palpatine was really just a good twister of making people believe that he was sort of stronger than he really was. He was a manipulator. And the way that I tried to look at this was, if not for Anakin, Palpatine probably would have died. So, that to me stands out. And then Anakin, I mean, Lucas himself has stated that he's one of the most powerful Force users ever to live. Palpatine even says at one point that he will be the most powerful, more power than himself and Yoda. So while Anakin, certainly faced some hardships, and I think that he struggles mentally, strength, brute force with the Force, I think that Anakin at least stands a chance. But this is sort of the matchup that you sort of hope for. You sort of hope to see the master go against the young buck, and we saw that in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Like, you hope for something like this. So it's a great matchup. I had to choose the best thing that I had available to me, so I went with something that I know Lucas has stated is quite possibly the most powerful Force user in the galaxy, and I gotta hope that the audience and the judges feel that way too.
I'm going to figure this out. Rob wants to know, movie Anakin or cartoon Anakin? Which one?
I based everything off the movies.
You based everything off the movies. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and we will bring Brian up. Go ahead, man.
All right. Well, Palpatine is the most powerful Sith. So, man, there you go. I'm going to take my headphones off just so I can't hear myself talking. Palpatine is the most powerful Sith. He is not only is he like whoever, like he's the leader of the Sith, but he's also the master of the lightsaber form 7, which is the what is it? It's the it's one of the most powerful forms of lightsaber or martial arts lightsaber forms. The part where Mace Windu had him beat, Mace Windu is also a master of that form as well. So, and he is one of the best lightsaber duelists in all of the galaxy, I guess you would say. So, Palpatine's just so much more powerful. He's faster. He's smarter. He knows everything when it comes to, I mean, he's the best.
All right, so Sebastian says, I want to say Anakin, but in Clone Wars, we see Palpatine completely destroy Maul and Savage Opress in a lightsaber duel, 2-on-1, and he toyed with them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's bring him over, Mr. Mark Daniel.
Oh, me? Okay. Take my headphones off too. So, here's the deal. I'm looking at the matchup. I'm looking at the movie, and I remember that Yoda went up against Palpatine, and Yoda didn't beat Palpatine, right? Yoda, because he was, in the Senate, they were fighting. Yoda ended up having to leave. And I want to point out, kind of like Brian said, when he was fighting Mace Windu had the upper hand, but Palpatine was still able to distract Mace Windu. And we go to the point of saying that Palpatine is a master manipulator. Now, when it comes to Anakin was very powerful, but Palpatine kept that power at bay and weakened Anakin because he was inside of his head. And Anakin never reached his full potential because of what Obi-Wan did to him. Obi-Wan cut off his legs and his arm. If Obi-Wan didn't beat Anakin like that and he didn't become half machine like Darth Vader, he'd have been even more powerful. I think he was less powerful when he became Darth Vader. He couldn't move as fast, and he had breathing problems. So Anakin never reached his full potential. That's why Anakin was destroyed with the help of Luke Skywalker and Anakin. So on this one, because Palpatine is a master manipulator, and if we look at Anakin at the age he was when he was interacting with Palpatine, I think even if Anakin got the upper hand, Palpatine would still be able to get into his head and beat him. So with this, I would say Anakin, as we know him, as he's being manipulated by Palpatine, Palpatine always had the upper hand. So I'm going to go with Palpatine.
Okay. All right. Marc Valentine, we got one for Palpatine. Where are you going?
So, Mark brings up such an amazing point, is that you have to parse the two, like that Anakin ceased to be, after that duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi, where, Anakin ceased to be Anakin anymore. He was like who he was, the trajectory that he was on, all of that was ruined by that duel on Mustafar. When he then takes on all the cybernetics and he needs the breathing apparatus, his power diminished. So the best that we get, as far as like Ethan picks, when he says Anakin, the best that we have to get is, in terms of his skill and his proficiency and his level and his mastery of the Force, you're looking at it. It's on Mustafar. And so we know where Anakin stops and where Darth Vader begins. The best that Anakin could ever muster was not good enough to beat Ewan McGregor. It was not good enough to beat Obi-Wan Kenobi. He loses in that battle because he is very headstrong, because he's very overconfident. He thinks that his mastery of the Force is a lot greater than it is at that moment in time. Anakin is a cautionary tale of like, what if? What if he hadn't rushed into that fight to defeat Obi-Wan or to fight Obi-Wan because of the rage and the anger that he was feeling. Who knows? He could have, Ethan, he could have became the most powerful Sith. Palpatine wasn't going to be wrong. He might have eclipsed his power, but the truth is he didn't, because he is headstrong. He is emotional. Whereas the Emperor is calculated to the max. He's always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. And we see him take down Yoda. We see him manhandle Darth Maul and Savage Opress in Clone Wars, which is also canon. So he is not just a expert duelist, but he has a mastery of the Force in that he can pull out stops that, that Anakin just does not have at his disposal. In this fight, it's really not fair, because I don't think there's anyone that we've seen in canon anymore that can beat him. Sebastian brought up some really great points, with Revan, but Revan is now Legends, so we can't really consider them. But as far as what we're working with right now in the Star Wars universe, Palpatine is still numero uno, and he's going to get my vote unless, we have something in the counter that you can say, hey, consider this, Mark.
Take it away, Ethan. Where's your counter?
I honestly, I don't have one. I knew going into the matchup when he selected Palpatine that I was at a strong disadvantage. So no, the picks here are right, and I just tried to pick the most formidable opponent that I could. I don't have much else here to say.
If I could make a suggestion to you too, man. I don't know how much of the Legends stuff that you know, but he is canon now. Darth Bane is now canon because he's brought into season 6 of the Clone Wars when Yoda is on a quest and is learning about the power of the Force. Like Darth Bane, while we don't like all the stuff that you get from Darth Bane, who knows if all of that's canon, but as far as the rule of 2, that is definitely canon. I might have gone with Bane, but dude, hats off to you for picking. You did the best you could with.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Dana from the Runic Drink podcast says Amazon kills Palpatine in Jedi. Then he corrects himself and says Anakin, not Amazon. Pretty sure that Jeff Bezos.
It was Jeff Bezos. I'm pretty sure that Jeff Bezos is the Emperor himself.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you back up here, Ethan, because you were up first here. We've got Snow White versus Cinderella. Ethan, you chose Snow White going first.
I did.
So I'm really interested to hear why.
Okay. So I chose her first because she grew up in the woods. She grew up having to take care of and sort of being around 7 strong miners that got up every morning and went right to work. And I mean, in my opinion, she's just a little bit stockier. She looks a little bit stockier in the films. And I do think that she'd be a formidable opponent just simply on the premise that she grew up in the woods and she's got to take care of some guys and clean up after them. And, going up against Cinderella, I mean, you got to look, when you look at Cinderella, she's smaller, she's thinner. She needed help doing chores from little fat mice. So, I mean, there's something there to me that kind of just screams that Cindy's the lesser of the two. So I could have went with Cindy, but I ultimately ended up going up with Snow White, just based on I also know that she was part of the original royalty family, so she probably had some additional advantages in that favor, and probably could get a lesson or two if that's what you wanted to do.
No, Brian has been making some faces. I feel like the gloves are about to come off. Things are about to get real. Cinderella is about to come crawling out of the chimney covered
in glass slipper is off.
Yes. Let's hear it, Brian.
Oh Lord. Okay, so Cinderella didn't lead a very good life. She I mean, both of them, they both are essentially maids for other people. They both have to cook and clean and whatever, but Cinderella has to deal with the evil stepmother and the I can't remember their names. I'm sorry, but
the two sisters who were just lazy.
The stepsisters, and it's just
Anastasia and Drizella.
Yes, thank you. They're just garbage, man. But also, Cinderella has an age advantage on Snow White. You know, Snow White's I think 14, and Cinderella's 19. So you got an age advantage there. I'm pretty sure Cinderella's a little bit taller than Snow White, so she's got the reach advantage. And I think she's gonna jab her right in the face, you know, and just keep her away. She's got it.
And I mean, look at that. The look, man.
I have gotten that look before.
We've all gotten that.
I've gotten both of those looks.
All right, so Mark Daniel, Snow White, Cinderella. You've heard the arguments.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Listen, man, you got to look at it. You got to look at this matchup 100%. On one side, you've got Snow White with 7 dwarfs behind her. On the other side, you got Cinderella, with a fairy godmother, some birds, and some mice, a pumpkin, and maybe a horse or two that turned from – the horses don't really know what to do because they were mice. They're going to try to squeeze into holes and stuff, and they're huge. So what's going to happen is that battle's going to go. So but I want to be clear, Snow White wasn't – she didn't grow up in the – I don't think she – I can't be sure. I don't think she grew up in the woods. She got lost in the woods, and these men found her. Well, they didn't even find her. She found a house because she wasn't trying to live in the woods. She wasn't living in a tree. She broke into these people's house and was like, I need a place to stay. She breaks in and she's like, oh, well, I'll clean up. She cleans up. They come in. They're like, oh, look at this lady. Cool. Let's stay. Let's keep her here. But Cinderella has been cleaning. She's got some grit. She always had to clean everything. She had a stepmother that hated her. So she had a hard life. So if it's just Snow White and Cinderella, I think Cinderella's got more grit. But the secret weapon for Snow White are those 7 men. Dopey's going to be a little bit crazy messing up, but don't forget, they're going to bring that rock. They have killed before, and they will kill again. All right? So it goes to Snow White because they're going to smash her with that rock they smashed the witch with. So hands down, the 7 dwarfs have killed before, and they'll kill again.
Oh, all right. Mr. Valentine, you got to follow.
So my clarification would be, are the dwarves part of the package? Like we're good? Like the dwarves are coming with?
Well, I don't necessarily think they have to, but if it's to my advantage, I can take anything I'll get.
All right.
I thought this was like 1-on-1.
Yeah,
they're in the ring fighting.
Me too.
I can change. If you know, like I said, if she can't bring the dwarfs, then it goes to Cinderella.
If the dwarves, if those dwarves are coming, then it's Snow White hands down. Because I don't want to tussle with Grumpy. Homeboy's got some pent up anger. Like he's got some real issues. That dude. Like he needs to go to a spa retreat for a little bit and calm down. Because Grumpy's got issues. So if the dwarves are coming, yeah, it's Snow White all day, every day. The thing about Cinderella is she's had a hard life. Like she has been beaten down. She's been broken. She perseveres. Like she pushes through the pain. And the other thing is, like, if both of these princesses are just coming like dressed as is, I'm going with the woman that's got the glass slipper. Like I don't want to get clunked with that, or she's just smashed it over the table. And, right. Like you got a homemade shiv right there. Like, like she would just break that shoe off and come at her stabby style. So I like this matchup though. I think this is funny. Like this one to me was when I saw this one, I really laughed out loud. Especially with that graphic. You got to put that graphic up again. That graphic is priceless.
They look mad at each other.
Hey, they're getting ready to square off.
I can't unsee that.
I can't either. Like that graphic is so good.
So
I'm not going to vote yet. I don't want to vote yet.
You're not going to vote yet. So here's my question. If we did allow the dwarves, then Cinderella has a fairy godmother. So
how old is she?
Does it matter?
Yeah,
she's magical, man.
She's magical.
I'm trying to find anything here.
The dwarves, fairy godmother is nothing but a fancy witch, and the dwarves have killed a witch before.
Yeah,
they know the enemy.
Yeah, but a witch versus it. What? How does it go? Mark, you got a wizard is nothing.
A sorcerer.
Yeah,
yeah, he's a sorcerer. A sorcerer is nothing but a wizard without a hat.
Yeah. So Sebastian says, dude, they both summon small animals to fight. Snow White throws a poison apple. Look, here's my thing. Snow White's gullible, right? I mean, who takes an apple from a creepy old woman? Like, hey, let's go out to the white panel then. It says free puppies on the side, you know?
He should have used Turkish Delight.
Yeah, really.
So, but Cinderella, I mean, she's tough. And she didn't wait on a man, right? She made it happen. She went to the ball. She sought out her goals.
Man, I just feel bad with how this is going down. Ethan's going to go down 3 if this goes this way too.
Yeah, going down quick. And
I know
the next one's tough.
All right. So, Ethan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm never doing these ever again. This is the karma for doing something like this. No, look, listen, Cinderella to me. Can you pull up that picture again? This is like from Greece. This is Rizzo against just a rough and tough type of Sandy. So I'm going with Rizzo in that instance, even though it's a good matchup. At the end of the day, if nothing else, it's providing great talking points. But Snow White had to deal with Grumpy. I don't know how two stepsisters and a stepmom who were just lazy women. I feel like I'm gonna get canceled for that, but just put all the work on one person, and Snow White, she was picking up for men who were like dirty, sweaty, picking up a pickaxe. I have to imagine she was picking up and moving some of the stuff that they left around the house. I know my wife does.
I mean, Sebastian also brings up the point that Snow White falls asleep after a light snack. And Dwayne says this is brutal, but dwarfs are not involved. All right, Brian. Do you need
yeah, really? What does he have to say?
What do I need to say?
Just drop the mic. Just drop the microphone at this point.
Y'all just go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to give you the chance. So, Mark Daniel, are you ready to cast your vote?
Yeah, without the dwarves, Cinderella without the dwarves.
Going Cindy. The chat has went Cindy. Marc Valentine.
Star Ethan, I love you, my man, but Cinderella.
Yep.
Cinderella. All right. This one I'm a little excited for. We've got Marvel, people of space, if I can talk. Brian, you went with Silver Surfer.
I did.
And
again,
Ethan went with Loki. Thank you, Mark. This is not the first time that Brian has went Silver Surfer. He did that in the Disney Thunderdome over on the DisLife podcast.
He did.
So, Brian, let's hear
again.
Why are you on Silver Surfer?
He's one of my favorites. I grew up reading the Silver Surfer comics. Silver Surfer was a herald to Galactus. He can move at the speed of light. He's very strong. He can fight like nobody's business. He shoots cosmic rays out of his hands. He's just a bad A. Sorry, but I love him. I love his comics too. So,
all right, Ethan.
Yeah.
Podcast. This is yours to lose. She says, "Come on, you got this."
Yeah, I'm feeling really not so confident, but I appreciate the vote of confidence that you're sending this way. So I had to do probably, more research into this than I thought. But Loki, comparable to Thor, he is in fact a god. Let's not forget that. Loki, from the research that I did, has knocked down the Silver Surfer, so I know he's got a chance. And if we really think about it, Loki, throughout most of the time that we see him, he does in fact have one of the Infinity Stones. So I think that plays into his favor as well. And at the end of the day, Loki could really hold his own against any opponent. And I think at times he sort of almost shut some of himself off to be comical or be funny. And I think that if he's placed into a situation where he desperately needs to win, if he desperately needs to prove that he can be that person who can, really step up to the plate, I think that he's willing to do that against even the worst of the worst with Thanos. So I think, with not knowing much about Silver Surfer, so this was very off key and off proportions for me. Loki, to me, just screamed to me that he stood a chance against anybody, and I sort of would have put Loki against anybody, regardless of who Brian were to have picked in this situation.
All right, Mark.
Oh man, let's see here.
Where do you start?
Oh man, I feel bad for Ethan. Ethan, the next one is I'm picking yours. Man, okay, so kind of like Brian said, I don't know much about Silver Surfer, so I'll go through the movies. I know he is a god. I believe he can create life. Is that true?
Silver Surfer?
Silver Surfer, yeah.
I don't think so.
Is he a being that can create life? Okay.
No.
I feel like Loki is a god, but one of the lesser gods, right? He's like, he kind of comes across as the god of mischief. I think, I think he could do some chicanery, but as far as a straight up fight between the two, throwing powers at each other, I think it might go to Silver Surfer because of what you mentioned, Brian, about it being able to move at light speed and shoot things from his hands and different things like that. I think I just don't see Loki surviving a battle with the Silver Surfer.
Okay. Sebastian says here that he saw a poll on a Marvel YouTube channel. Silver Surfer beat everyone on the list for who was strongest. Mark, do you have anything you want to add to that? Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I do. I have a lot to add, actually, and I think it's going to surprise y'all. I hope you have a hot take graphic coming up because Ethan, whether you know it or not, man, I think that I am defaulting to you right now, and that in a straight up fight, Brian 100% is, he's got the edge. Silver Surfer is going to be a bruiser. His abilities, his powers greatly eclipse that of Loki. But the thing about Loki is he is smart. He is one of the smartest dudes in the MCU. He survives. He finds a way to win. He will lie. He will manipulate. He will find a way to win this fight, and he won't win it in a straight up fight. The other reason that I'm going to say I might reserve judgment is, let's not forget, if we're going on films, Sebastian kind of said this too, and Dana kind of said this. If we were going on books, Loki is much stronger in the books, in the comics, than he is portrayed in the MCU. Tom Hiddleston does not get a lot of the strength that Loki gets when you read the books and Loki gets from the books. So if I'm just going off of the MCU and what we've now seen on film, this is kind of unfair for Silver Surfer because he only got one really poor Fox property. Brian, I know he's saying it again.
Come on, dude.
He's shaking his head. It was not a great film for him in terms of what they displayed that he could do. But Loki in the films has wielded an Infinity Stone, and now he's also in possession of another stone with which he is manipulating time and space in order to recreate what it appears to be various versions of himself, more powerful versions of himself that he's getting attributes of other heroes. We don't know what that is yet, but I'm going to bet on the man with the wild card in this scenario. I'm going to bet on the guy that can zap off into space and come back as the Hulk. So you don't know what Loki is capable of right now because of what he has in his possession. And that's why he's kind of put under arrest, is because he has manipulated space and time to really mess up that continuum. I don't know if Silver Surfer can deal with all that trouble.
All right, so Brian, you're grunting.
No, this stupid Fantastic Four movie is going to haunt my dreams for the rest of my life. I hate that movie. Now, Silver Surfer has a leg up. If you look into Marvel Comics, just go to marvel.com and take a look. The only thing that Loki has is he has one edge on him as far as intelligence. But Silver Surfer has better fighting skills. He's stronger. He's faster. And
I believe, were they not the same speed?
It doesn't say that Loki can move at the speed of light.
Yeah, he can't.
Or no, was it stamina maybe?
No, it's speed, but it still doesn't say that he can move at the speed of light.
Stanley infinite speed.
Yeah. But intelligence, man, that's a kicker. Intelligence goes a long way in a fight.
It can.
Yeah.
But not in this case.
Ethan, do you have anything, man? Do you need to add anything? Do you feel like?
I think I love the fact that Mark said it, but he is legitimately the wild card. I mean, that is sort of how I feel about him. I think that he's so underutilized and he has such potential that I think that he has the ability to stand up to any formidable opponent. And I think at the end of the day, it's a tough matchup, but I do think that in a not so square fight, Loki could pull it off.
Yeah, Loki wouldn't make it a square fight though. He knows he can't win a square fight.
Not so square.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're talking like Hart, or we can go back to the Captain America thing. Norrin Radd gave himself to Galactus to save his whole planet. So he's got the heart to win this. He's got the no quit attitude. He's gonna do whatever it takes. So.
All right, Ethan. Dwayne says that he votes Silver Surfer, but he will change his vote if you ride Everest with him. So,
oh yeah, I love Everest. I'll ride Everest.
Rocket roller coaster.
Roller coaster. There we go.
Oh, all right. Well,
all right. Mark, what do you have?
I'm sticking with Silver Surfer because I'm looking at this here, and it says that he has healing power and he can create life.
Okay.
And he also has cosmic awareness. Now, how intelligent can you be when you have cosmic awareness, in a sense, right? So we're talking about Loki's intelligence, but then Silver Surfer has this cosmic awareness. Like, you could think whatever you want in this dimension, but I have this knowledge in this other dimension. So, right. But I feel like with being able to create life, I feel, and I don't know if that's portrayed in the comics, and I've removed the Fantastic Four movie from my mind.
Thank you.
But, but I don't know if he's godlike. So I don't know if he has like godlike power, where Loki is a part of a team of gods, and right. He chose to be the god of mischief. So I'm sticking with Silver Surfer.
All right. Mark, you put up a good argument for Loki. You was really on the Loki train.
I did, but then Mark just changed my mind with that cosmic awareness point, which kind of negates everything that I talked about. Even if Loki is zapping around with it, with the Tesseract, I like Silver Surfer has that cosmic ability that he's aware of multiple dimensions. Like he can go through space and time as well. So Ethan, I love you. I feel so bad, man.
I thought I did so well on this.
Silver Surfer. It's rig it up.
Ethan, I thought you had a fighting chance on this one. You can thank Mark Daniel for this loss.
The next one I'm going with Ethan, no matter what.
All right, well, I don't have to say anything.
We'll see about that.
He was midstream there, so he was getting it all together. He threw you under the bus, man.
It's all good.
It's all good?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
This is fun. Are you kidding? It's still fun. It's
y'all are
losing,
forcing,
but it is.
Y'all are forcing Ethan into an early retirement for Fight Night.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you guys can take this IP.
Here's the next one. Ethan, I don't hate your pick here. This is a tough one. Marc Valentine's throwing his hands up.
Man. Oh.
Daniel's rubbing his eyes.
I'm gonna walk away from this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Mace Windu.
So again, I pull from the films and what I see. Obi-Wan was and more frequently seen in battle. There weren't many battles that he couldn't win, especially if there were multiple elevations. I mean, if that guy gets any type of high ground, it's all over. It's too easy. Mace, we don't see a whole lot of him in fighting and in combat, but what you do see is that he's pretty easily swayed and has a difficult time sort of picking up and feeling emotions about different things and different people that are going on. So I think, again, a great battle. At this point, I'm just fighting for my life here, trying to put something together to maybe go 4-2. So.
All right. Be fair.
All right. This one I was a little nervous about because had I been a little more on my game that night, I would have went with the Yoda only because Yoda has mastered all 7 lightsaber forms. And he's Yoda. Who's going to pick against Yoda? But I went with Mace Windu because I liked his character in the movie, and I've watched a little bit of, or I've read a lot about him since I made this pick, and it's made me become more of a fan of his. Let's just put it that way. He beat Palpatine. He had him on the ropes. Let's just put it that way. I don't say beat him. He had him on the ropes, and that's very hard to do. He's also a master of Form 7, which is the ferocity form. It's usually held by a Sith, but as a Jedi, he held it, and he was able to master it and keep his mind on the light side. And that's a big deal. Now Obi-Wan is a master of the 3rd form, and I can't remember exactly what it's called. And it's more of a defensive form. The 7 is more of an offensive attack form. So I think it would be a good fight, but I think Mace Windu is going to win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I go ahead and tell you, sit back, relax. We're about to from both Marks. They're going to get their words together, and I know they're going to bring some heat for us right here.
Okay, I made a vow that I was going to go. That I was going to go with Ethan, but I'm sticking to it.
Oh yes, thank God.
I'm sticking to it. So Brian, you brought up some good points, some amazing points. That Mace Windu, Form 7. Very powerful Jedi. His crystal is amethyst, a rare crystal that not many Jedi can handle. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're right. He has a defensive style, and he's a guardian of the Force. His kyber crystal is blue. Mace Windu is purple because blue is the guardian. That's the defensive. They protect the Force. Whereas Mace Windu is a mixture of blue and red, which makes it violet. So it's to your point where he can tap into the dark side when he goes into his Form 7. The flaw about Mace Windu is about tradition of the Jedi. He sat on the Jedi Council. He was also a Grand Master of the Jedi Council and a general. And that's why he had a lot of problems with Anakin and giving Anakin any more power that Anakin wanted to go into battle. And he was the main one saying, I do not want to go into battle with Anakin. I can sense he's confused. Mace Windu wanted to kill. When he battles, when he taps into that dark side, he will kill you. And he wanted to kill Palpatine. And that's that moment when he was like, he's too powerful to be left alive, that he got distracted. And that's when Anakin cut his arms off and he was thrown out of the window. If Mace Windu was fighting Anakin instead of Obi-Wan, Mace Windu would have killed Anakin. Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan let him live. again at defensive. But remember, Obi-Wan Kenobi killed General Grievous because he shot him with a blaster. So Mace Windu would stick with tradition. Obi-Wan Kenobi would improvise, and I think he would kill Mace Windu by improvising, and maybe not killing him with a lightsaber, but using something that's around him that Mace Windu would stay in tradition and not see. So it goes to Obi-Wan Kenobi for his improvisational skills.
Oh,
there you go, Ethan.
Woo-hoo! I got one. I got a vote.
Brian. Do that again. Do that
No,
again.
don't do that again.
Please do that again. I gotta see that one more time.
No.
Oh man.
Oh boy. All right, Marc Valentine.
I can't even right now with why'd you right after that I gotta follow him playing with his lightsaber. Shaking his lightsaber around in my face.
Stop it.
So Mark brings up really amazing points about Mace Windu. He is a master of Form 7, which allows him to channel the dark side of the Force. He is one of the cultivators of Form 7. He masters it. There are several sources that say he is amongst the best, if not the best, duelist in the Jedi Order, that his strength with a lightsaber is renowned. But the other thing that Ethan, I beat you at this point before, so now I'm going to help you with it now, was that I said you had to draw a line between Anakin and Darth Vader. The thing with Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan's continuation of the Force does not end with the Clone Wars. It does not end with Episode 3, that he continues to grow in his Force power. He continues to grow in his knowledge of the Force. The Obi-Wan that we see that defeats Anakin on Mustafar is amazing, and it's outrageous. This is not the Obi-Wan Kenobi that defeats Maul on Naboo. We see how much he has learned in that time, that he defeats Maul when he really is on the precipice of becoming a Jedi Knight. You know, he really was a Padawan himself at that moment, and he was still that strong in the Force and in his knowledge of the Force to defeat Maul at that point in time. But then I'm going to flash forward to the second duel that he has with Maul, and which I'm going to argue is one of the best duels in all of Star Wars canon. When now the two men meet again, and he uses his knowledge of the Force, he changes up his stance. When he starts the fight as the Obi-Wan that last met him on Naboo. He changes up the stance to his Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, and he channels Qui-Gon Jinn's stance, triggering something in his opponent to think that the fight is going to transpire the same way it did between Qui-Gon and Maul. And then he hits him with this move where then when he goes to hit him again, slices right down the center of the saber and ends Maul in pretty much one stroke. It's incredible. Obi-Wan is the consummate student of the Force. He is very powerful. Mace Windu, I think, is limited by so many circumstances. Like James, I could turn this into an entire podcast, just these guys, because I love them so much. I'm gonna go with Obi-Wan Kenobi, although I love Mace Windu. I could on a different day I could make an argument for Mace Windu as well. But in this particular instance, and also I think some of it is, I also feel very bad for Ethan right now.
Thank you.
I feel like you could do an entire episode on this on Babu's freaking podcast.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have Babu's freaking podcast, which is gonna start on May 4th. We're gonna start that. It's gonna be audio only. Brian Lee, Mark, I would love to have you on. I know you are like a super Star Wars guy. If you ever want to come on Babu's freaking podcast and just fan out with us on all things Star Wars, I'd love to have you on.
That name is awesome.
But that's yeah. So Babu's freaking podcast is gonna be May 4th. James, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have stuff like this on the show. We're gonna do this one. Obi-Wan and Mace Windu.
All right, Brian. They so far they have both voted against you.
Look, these sympathy votes are ridiculous.
Write in. Come on.
I did have a write-in. I apologize. I'm so sorry about that.
And Brian, even the chat though, the chat is saying Obi-Wan.
That's because they don't know any better. I'm just joking. The only thing I can say is that Count Dooku had sparred with, or the two people that he had the most trouble with sparring with is Yoda and Mace Windu. And Mace Windu actually beat him in a unaided battle. So nobody else was able to do that.
Listen, I could make an argument, and we'll do this on Babu's freaking podcast, that Mace Windu legitimately beat Emperor Palpatine. That if not for Anakin's intervention in that fight, you know, as Mark said, he would have killed Emperor Palpatine. That Anakin really ended that fight by slicing off his hand, and his intervention when he was going to deal the death blow, that he beat him. That he literally beat him because of his ability to channel the dark side of the Force and his mastery of Form 7. He was able to do something that no other Jedi could do because he tapped into a side of the Force that none of them that was not at their disposal. To defeat him, he had to tap into something greater, and Mace had that at his disposal.
All right.
Dude, all day long, please.
I think, what is Brian holding up now?
These are my notes from Mace Windu right here. They're just ridiculous.
Right. So here we go. Gentlemen, we've been waiting all night for this heavyweight matchup. I think it's going to be a fantastic one. It's one we wanted in the first round. We didn't get it.
But we got Snowball.
We wanted Beast and Sully. We got Snowball from Frozen. Oh, man. So now we finally have the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, Sully from Monsters, Inc. Brian, you chose Beast. Let's have it.
Yeah. So the Beast is ferocious. He'll take his workers, his people that work under him, who are pieces of furniture, and just destroy them. The guy has, I mean, we're talking pre-Bell here. The dude is just, he's unrelenting. He's mad. He's got the anger. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He could chase down a horse, man. The dude is a monster. And I mean, Sully's kind of, you know, he's a big guy too, but you know, he's got to tippy toe around the bedrooms and be quiet. And you know, I don't take that away from him, but you know, he's kind of soft. So,
Brian, I want to kind of go off of what you were saying about the furniture and everything. I had never thought of it that way. I saw a TikTok not too long ago. I believe I shared it with the DisLife fam. That really, guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. It messed with my head because our family, we love Beauty and the Beast, and they's like, you know, you think about it, all the plates, all the furniture, the wardrobe, everything in there are people who worked in his castle.
But everything, though?
Everything?
Literally everything could not, when there was a transformation, not everything could have, like, then he would have been living in an unfurnished castle. And then there was,
he was 12.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean, the sinking dishes, like, there was a full-out show done with dishes. Like, that's a lot of people still, you know.
But they weren't singing. They were only doing this.
Yeah. Well, do you think he could differentiate between, like, I mean, I'm sure an accident happened where it was like occasionally, like he killed the couch and it was like, oh, that was Bob.
Whoa.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I thought that was just, yeah. I just thought that was a couch.
I thought that was my old couch.
And Chip's got a crack in his skull.
Mm-hmm.
So when he turns back human, he still's got that.
Yeah. Where do you think that came from? That shit.
He would go into the West Wing, and I mean, what does he do? He hits play. He says, "Alexa, play Let the Bodies Hit the Floor," and we're going to town. Like that's what I ended up picturing after that. So Ethan, you've got Sully going against this guy who just murders his own people.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
I don't know that Beast was murdering anybody. I don't really necessarily buy into that. But, I mean, Brian kind of started the process in saying this is all pre-Bell, but we can't necessarily take away the fact that when Beast meets Bell, he does start to kind of warm up a whole lot. Like a whole lot. And even though some will probably say Sully, when he meets Boo, he turns into a big softy too, he was still at the top of the leaderboard in terms of being the best scarer in town. And he was still strong. I mean, the guy had a workout routine and a trainer. So every morning he would wake up, he'd do his jump scares. You know, he was doing the burpees, he was doing the push-ups. So the guy's tough. The guy's strong. Not only that, but I think of the Beast now and the role that he has in the parks. And at Be Our Guest, when I go to dinner there, he comes out, he does a big bow. He's thanking everybody for coming in. Doesn't seem very ferocious to me. So Sully, on the other hand,
he also doesn't look like he's feeling it.
No.
Bill's like, get out there. Get out there.
Yeah, I have some pictures. I have some pictures with the
he's-
Beast,
at
and
this
it looks
point,
like he's mailing it
letting
in.
people
Nah, he's mailing it in, dude. Bell yelled at him. Bell was like, "Get out there and do this," and he's
Right.
like, "Yeah, he's back there murdering more plates," and she's like, "Go take that picture with Susie
Yeah, that's right.
right now," because you get the pictures with Beast, and he's like this.
Look, I hadn't thought about that until just now. If you sit in the West Wing, especially at breakfast, dude, you hear those dishes crashing big time.
Yeah,
Every once in a while you do.
it's a homicide.
I never
homicide.
realized that was just part of the theming.
Yeah.
But you're talking, Ethan. You say this about Beast that he comes out and bows and everything.
Yeah.
Mark, I mean, no offense by this, but I mean, Sully's got a comedy club. Like, come on, man.
I know.
That's
scary about
Mike's comedy club. He just happens to show up.
And not to mention, it's not just a comedy club. It is a comedy club that Mr. Valentine has canceled multiple times.
Once or twice.
No comment.
All right. So, Mr. Daniel, what have you got to say? Beast versus Sully.
Okay, so look at this. I like that picture. Take a look at this picture for a little bit. All right, now, Ethan, you brought up some good points. He's got a trainer. He's got to do his burpees. He's standing up, growling. He's doing the bunk bed thing, and he's doing all that stuff. And I think somebody mentioned this is Beast pre-Bell. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to understand this. I think Sully, he can growl, he can scare you, but unfortunately, I think Sully is all bark and no bite. Okay, because you got to think of the Beast. He's in his castle. There's no bell. He's angry. And you got to remember Beast like this. Yeah, that's Beast.
Yeah.
See Beast there?
Mm-hmm.
Beast actually walks on all fours.
Mm-hmm.
So going up against Sully, he's more animalistic. Sully is like, Sully can't really walk on all fours. He's got the hands and everything. And he's more humanoid, if you will. And remember, Beast saved Bell by attacking some wolves. And I think Beast is pretty gritty. So I think in a ferocious fight, if you're talking Beast pre-Bell, the Beast will shred Sully. If you're talking Beast after Bell, at that point he's a lover, not a fighter. He will not fight. He's gonna leave and go in a restaurant and say hi to people.
So, or we can do it like this and say that Bell is behind Sully, right, and then Boo is behind Beast. And the two are having to fight, because
that's a good one.
Fun. Yeah, that's
a good one.
All right,
that's a good one.
Valentine, bring it.
So of the two, again, it's kind of unfair in that Sully has not really had to scrap or fight. He's not a fighter. I mean, he's all bark. He's there to scare, and even that goes away once he meets Boo. That he kind of has like an epiphany, realizes like, yo, I don't want to be that dude anymore. I'm not about that life. So that's why, like, of the duo now, like, he's the support staff. Like, he's become middle management, Sully. Like, he really, I feel bad for the dude. I don't want to see Monsters Inc. 3 because, he's basically he's a shell of his former self. The thing about Beast is, even post Bell, we've seen him fight. Like, he went toe to toe with Gaston. No one fights like Gaston. And, you know, he knocks that homeboy off that roof after he gets shanked in the back. Then that animal comes out again and boom, you know, he knocks him off the roof and that's it. So he scraps with a pack of wolves, defeats a pack of wolves. Beast, when he needs to fight, it's not like he thinks about fighting or roars. He throws down. He throws down and he wrecks shop. Beast is the only one in the scenario that I even can see fighting. Now, if Boo's life was threatened, and if Boo was like somehow in harm's way, Sully, make no mistake, Sully's going to throw down, but he needs the motivation to do that. Where I think Beast, he's got that muscle memory of being that bear for decades, and now he just slips back into that way easier than Sully. Life and limb would have to be at risk for him to want to throw down. Otherwise, he's just a real soft, huggable dude.
All right, Ethan, bring the heat, man. Come on, you got something up there, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at it full spectrum. I mean, at this point, the Beast that we know at Magic Kingdom just gives you a big bow and runs back to his kitchen, and that's it.
Ethan, I'm going to show. I again, you have a good point. I'm going to show you the picture I took of Beast.
Yeah,
that like he looks dead. He looks dead inside.
Y'all need to chill out and leave the Beast alone. Okay, he's got to run a restaurant. He's got a comedy club, like he said. He just shows up. Okay, Beast is trying to run a restaurant. Not only that, they're serving breakfast and lunch.
I would think though that a comedy club probably has a little bit of a rougher crowd than a restaurant. No.
Good point.
Oh, I don't know.
Even if Sully's just like the body, like the body, what the hell, the bouncer.
Mm.
I mean, he's probably dealing with some rough and tough kind of guys that are coming in and out of there. So.
I don't know. Do we keep going, Brian?
I'm going to say one thing. Remember when he thought Boo was getting smashed up and Sully passed out? I don't think he can see.
Ooh.
Remember that?
Ooh.
And he's scared of Randall. Randall. Come on.
Yo, I'm scared of Randall.
Randall is scary, though.
All right. So, Valentine, where are you going?
Beast.
Mr. Mark Daniel?
You know, pre-Bell Beast all the way. Pre-Bell Beast all the way.
And the chat has went Beast all the way. Not a single vote for Sully.
Thanks, everybody.
Listen. That's a matchup though, man. I would definitely pay to see that one happen live. I'm just saying. Can we get the animators over at Pixar to make that happen? Is that possible?
Here's what would happen. I think the Beast would start beating on Sully, and then the crowd would turn against the Beast. That's what I think would happen. I think Beast will lose because the crowd hates him.
Right. All right. So, Ethan, man, I got to say, much better card. Dude, you brought it this time.
Yeah, totally.
You did. No.
I got one.
You technically won the first one, buddy.
He really did.
Yeah.
He really did.
Stanley.
He allowed me a write-in.
That's true.
Which is
after you had time to think about it, and
dude, I regretted it the next day. I think I texted you, James. I was like, I made a mistake.
As soon as I listened to the podcast, I called you and was like, "What were you thinking?"
Yeah, it was bad.
Do we need to address this comment? After Beast, he turns into a handsome prince.
Yes.
True.
Dude, have you seen the cartoon, the animated version?
It's not
very rough looking.
I mean, I don't think he's that handsome.
Yeah.
Just don't. Out of all the yeah. There you go. There it is.
Dead inside.
If you had to wear that jacket, you'd look that way too.
He's thinking about out his 401k in that picture.
That's right.
He probably got kids now.
Yeah.
I think it's arguable. Like, did the Beast turn into a handsome prince? I mean, I think Belle would rather have the Beast in his hairy form.
Look, can I just say, saying the Beast turned into a handsome prince is saying Carl Fredrickson looks good as Captain America. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to throw that.
Listen, it's still family hour. Can we revisit this very conversation tonight after dark? The idea of the transformation and Belle and Beast and the relationship between the two of them, because I have some really good stuff to say, and I'm also very cognizant of the fact it's 6 p.m. and there may be children present, but I have some good stuff I want to talk about.
Oh man. All right. So we're going to start wrapping this up, but I got to say, guys, if you are not subscribed to Marc's YouTube channel, youtube.com/LOL for Marc Daniel, he is, I looked earlier, is 18 away from 1K?
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we got to make that happen.
I apologize. 13 away from 1,000.
What?
13 away. So let's make that happen this week, whether you're watching this live right now, you're listening back to the podcast, whatever. www.youtube.com/LOL for Marc Daniel. And the great thing is, you go to Facebook, type in LOL for Marc Daniel. Go to Instagram, type in LOL for Marc Daniel. Go to Google, type in LOL for Marc Daniel, and you're going to find him. So brilliant on the branding. Marc, again, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, man. I needed this laugh. This was so much fun. I tell you what, Ethan, I think the matchups were great. I think there's going to be a loser because you got to pick one.
Of course.
But how great was it to be like, man, we want to pick Mace Windu. We got to pick Obi-Wan. Man, we want to pick this person. Yeah. And I think it wasn't just hands down like, oh, no way. And there were options as well, mixing it to say, is Boo behind Beast and is Belle behind Sully? Right. Are they using the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? And is she using her fairy godmother? So I think it made for great conversation.
Absolutely.
So that was a lot of fun.
You really didn't get blown out, dude. It was like 3-2 because you should have won that first one hands down.
Yep.
The first one should have been no contest. You were gracious and you gave him a write-in. Cap would have won that debate. You won another one. So it really was only 3-2 when you look at it. So I know you're looking at this being like, man, I got demolished. You didn't. It was close.
I did.
Ethan, let me ask you real quick. Do you want to do a winner stands?
Say that again?
Do you want to do a winner stand? So Brian, come back. You host the fight card. Yeah. Brian, you choose his next opponent. Choose his next opponent, and I think it would be a fantastic card.
You don't want none of this, Brian.
Nobody was
fun. Absolutely.
No. I don't want neither one of you. I don't have the speech eloquence that you guys have. You guys would tear me apart.
You just used the word eloquence. So you got it.
I'm much more of a Parks guy. Like venturing into like the characters and learning more about them. I've been able to learn a lot. This has been a fun way to sort of get to do that. It's created great conversation, as we can see. And losing sucks, but this was fun. This was absolutely fun.
Yeah,
very entertaining.
And coming up in just a couple hours, we have the Disney Bunch. If you're watching us live, right here on YouTube, we have again Marc Daniel is going to join us with his beautiful fiance, Miss Figgy.
Figgy.
We are so excited about that. Will this be her first appearance?
You remember when I did my first show, and you pointed out that I didn't hit live?
Yeah.
Her first appearance is actually me trying to make sure I'm live, and her thumb coming in the screen this way and going like this. And going back out. That was actually her first appearance.
I love it. I love it.
She came in, I think, and she goes, "I can't hear you," and I kept talking. I was like, "There's nothing I can do." And then I think James, you were sending me stuff.
Yeah. I think I sent you a message on Instagram like, "Hey, make sure to hit live twice."
Hey James, I just want to take a moment, man. You guys are so much fun, and I always say this, man. You've been so supportive of me. You know, I've been trying some new different things, and you've always been there to encourage me, give me some tips, and I really, truly appreciate it, man. So thank you very much to you and your wife, and thanks to all of you for doing what you do, keeping that magic going for people that can't get to Walt Disney World. And I want to thank all of you from all the cast members at Walt Disney World. It's people like you that keep the magic going beyond people leaving Walt Disney World, reminding people of the magic. And I just see in the comments, like people like 7 days till Disney, 4 days till Disney. Mark, I know you're heading to Walt Disney World too. I hope you have a magical time with your daughter. And so what you guys do and just how you keep the conversation going in different ways is what Disney is all about, right? Having this Disney Fight Night and just having fun, putting characters against each other that will never see each other in the real world. It's just so much fun and different ways to play with the entertainment that Disney provides.
Definitely.
And yeah, that's what we're all about here in this community, is just supporting each other, lifting each other up. And you know, even Marc Valentine, we talked, what was it, about midnight last night?
Yeah.
I was having a rough moment, like, man, you know, getting all these images together, getting this and that, and you know, he calls me up. It's like, hey, we got this. You know, we're gonna make it through. So, and here we are. So that's what this community is all about, and we are just happy to be able to be a part of it.
That's what we do.
That's it. So,
there we go.
It's a
There's
long
the
running
note.
gag on this show. It's only on this show.
all right, everybody, if you need to know, you know where to find Mark. This DisLife podcast, Marc Valentine. You know where to find Ethan, the Wolf of Main Street. Brian, sometimes you can find him here. And then Mark Daniel, you can find him anywhere you want to. Just search LOL for Mark Daniel. Brilliant branding. And if you don't understand the LOL for, his motto is LOL for life, I encourage you to go listen to his story in episode 13 on our show. So that was a fantastic episode. Mark, I got to tell you real quick, it's still our top downloaded episode. So that was it 67 episodes ago, and it's still top number one. Every week it's number one. So
it's an honor
for you. All right. Thank y'all so much for Mark Daniel, Marc Valentine, the Wolf, and Brian. I'm James. We'll be talking to you real soon.